We've seen plenty of rankings of Six Flags parks, from best coaster lineup to best park overall, but this time I thought I'd rewind a bit and pick the 5 best Six Flags coaster lineups, except this time only with defunct coasters from the parks. So let's turn back the clock and dive in. So some quick notes. I am counting rides that have been removed from the park and then opened somewhere else during a relocation, and may still be operating. If they open at a park and have since been removed for any reason, they qualify for this list. Kicking off at number 5 is the now defunct Six Flags New Orleans. The park destroyed by Hurricane Katrina sported 5 major roller coasters. Megazeph was a large-scale CCI, Jester, a Vekoma Hurricane, Muskrat Scramble, and L&T Wild Mouse, and then you had Zydeco Scream, a Vekoma Boomerang that is still standing but not operating on site. The 2 coasters that made it out were Batman the Ride, a standard B&M invert Batman clone, as well as a Roadrunner Express, the Vekoma Junior coaster, that went to Magic Mountain. Now, the Batman clone was shipped over to Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and overall, this has 2 of the better defunct coasters on this list, and a B&M invert and a full-scale CCI, and some clones, but overall, it just lacks the quantity, and that really cost this lineup from climbing up on this list. Moving west to California, to the park with the most operating coasters in Magic Mountain. The park has 8 notable defunct roller coasters. There's Deja Vu, the Vekoma Giant Inverted Boomerang, Flashback, the Intimate Space Diver, Colossus, the massive classic dueling wooden coaster, Green Lantern, the Intimate Zack Spin that's moving to La Ronde, Cyclone, a Din Corp Woody, Shockwave, an Intimate Stand-Up, Mountain Express, a Schwarzkopf Wildcat, and finally, Sarahova Bobsleds, an Intimate Bobsled coaster. So Colossus and Deja Vu are probably the 2 big standout attractions here in this lineup, with some decent support from Shockwave and the Bobsled. Fortunately for the park, they've cleared out some bad rides in Green Lantern, Flashback, and Cyclone, while holding on to a good ride that could have been taken down earlier, like Viper. Now, if Viper was removed anytime soon, I would expect Magic Mountain to jump up a spot or 2 with the defunct coasters, because that Viper would be a true number 1 in this defunct class. Back to another absolutely stacked current park in Six Flags Great America. Now, this park actually features some of the exact same rides as Magic Mountain. You have a clone of Deja Vu, Z-Force, which is the exact Intimate Space Diver, though a bit younger and smoother here in its first location, as well as Rolling Thunder, another Intimate Bobsled. Add in the first B&M and Iron Wolf as a stand-up, Shockwave as an Arrow Mega Looper, Raging Cajun as a Reverchon Spinning Mouse that was relocated, and Tidal Wave, the Schwarzkopf Shuttle Loop. Now, overall, I have this one spot over Magic Mountain because of Shockwave and Tidal Wave. A good launch coaster and a massive Arrow Looper just have an edge over Colossus. Not to mention that I would take the B&M stand-up versus the Intimate version, as well as the first location of Z-Force. Obviously, the ride rotation program from Six Flags plays a pretty interesting role in connecting these potential lineups. Coming in for the silver is the now defunct Six Flags Astro World. Helped since all the rides are closed because the park is closed, this is a huge lineup. Batman the Escape, aka Shockwave from Magic Mountain, is the Intimate stand-up, Greased Lightning, another Schwarzkopf Shuttle Loop, Serial Thriller is a Vekoma SLC, and Texas Cyclone is a William Cobb Cyclone-style wooden roller coaster. There's also Texas Tornado, the massive 4-inversion Schwarzkopf, Viper, a small Schwarzkopf looper, Ultra Twister by Togo, Excalibur, an Arrow Mine Train, Mayan Mindbender, a Vekoma family coaster, Swamp Buggy, which is a Chance Rides Toboggan, XLR8, the Arrow suspended coaster, and Serpent is an Arrow mini mine train. So obviously this is a pretty massive list. The standouts have to be Texas Tornado and XLR8. A really good, intense Schwarzkopf looper and an Arrow suspending coaster are never bad rides. But this park isn't the height of pure quality. It's here for the unique rides on the list. An Ultra Twister, a Chance Rides Toboggan, and an Arrow suspended coaster are all dying models. So it's a shame that these aren't around anymore, but the quantity and uniqueness really gives this a narrow number 2 over Six Flags Great America. Now, number 1 was probably the easiest choice here. Six Flags Great Adventure has said goodbye to some amazing rides. Starting with the best, you have Batman and Robin the Chiller, which was a dueling premier shuttle loop coaster similar to Mr. Freeze, but features a second track with a Cobra roll and 0G rolls up an incline instead of a spike. It was sold after years of maintenance issues and never reopened. Great American Scream Machine was one of the 3 sister Arrow Mega Loopers. Viper and Ultra Twister were a pair of Togos, one good, one bad, and then there was the Intimate Bobsled Sarahova Bobsleds as seen earlier. throw in Wild Rider, Big Fury, Alpine Blitz, and Jumbo Jet for some old school fair style coasters. Then to round it out, there's Shockwave, another hand-me-down intimate stand-up from earlier, and a pair of 2 more dueling coasters in Rolling Thunder and Lightning Loops, a wooden coaster and an interlocking pair of Arrow Shuttle Loops respectively. Batman and Robin is probably the best coaster on this list, and it's probably the most missed too. Throw in 2 more dueling coasters, a rare Ultra Twister, an Arrow Mega Looper, and whatever you want from the 7 other Defunct coasters, and you have a winner. Not to mention there's also 2 other kiddie coasters, so if you want to add one for the little ones, there's something to pick there too. Where other parks have lost 1 or 2 major rides, Great Adventure has lost arguably 3 or 4 coasters that could be considered anywhere from pretty good to great. It also hurts when some of these rides were replaced by meh coasters. The Chiller had Dark Knight as its replacement, it's a perfect example. So those are my picks for the Six Flags Defunct lineup rankings. Did I leave any other parks off this list that I shouldn't have? Let me know below and how you rank up the parks. For more rankings, check out the playlist and be sure to follow Island Coasters on Instagram for daily coaster content. Till next week, that's all from the shores of Island Coasters.